welcome to part 4 of Amazing Mazes. And if you've been enjoying these tutorials that are all about game design, if you come over to my channel you'll also find more teaching about game design in the channel comments, which is usually up 5 days a week. I've also feature clips from famous video games which we discuss on there. You'll also find helpful playlists, and my uploads are all on there, so if you'd like to know more, come over and check it out. Okay, today on Amazing Mazes we're going to make a front room for our game. So open up your game maker and click off that, get rid of that bit, and load your game again. Okay, we're going to start off by making a new room because we need to make a front room. So if you come over here and click on this one to make a new room, then we're going to go into backgrounds and I'm going to set the colour to blue, but again you could choose whatever colour you want to. And this is going to be our front room. Go into the settings tab, we're just going to go up here and write room_front, just to remind ourselves which one is the front room. And then if you just grab it and drag it up to the top, it means it will be the first room that the player sees when they push play. Now we need to give our game a title, so that's what we're going to do next. Click on Create Sprite and then come into here and we're going to call this one SPR_title. Then click on Edit Sprite, create a new sprite, and the width we want it to be 512. There we go, and the height needs to be 90. Okay, and then we get this big fat square here. Click on Edit to edit your image. Now here we go in here. I'm just going to make this smaller so we can see it a bit easier. Okay, so we're going to come over here to this icon here with a TT on it to draw a text. Click on that, then go down to here. Make sure the middle Align Text Center is selected. Click on here. And now we're going to go in and choose a font, and again my font's going to be different because I had to choose one on this computer which is a bit different, so I'm going to go for one called Broadway, and I'm going to set the size to 36, and I'm going to make sure it's clicked on bold. Okay, but again you can choose whatever font you want to. Let's click in this space. Now I'm going to put mine onto capital letters, and I'm going to put in the title of my game, Bear in the Maze, and then click on OK. See, it appears here. Now we can just move it around so we get it into the center. Once you've got it centered, I'm going to make it dark purple, and then I'm just going to click in a space up here to make sure that it's anchored down, and that just anchors it down. Just push cancel on there, and there's my title. So I'm now going to decorate it. Let's make it a bit bigger so we can see that. Now inside GameMaker you have all these options here, but unfortunately because we're using Lite and not GameMaker Pro, we can't actually use any of these bits. So we've got to find a different way to decorate it. So I'm going to go on this strip here of very pale blue. I'm going to start off with this palest blue here, and then click on this fill icon here. So I'm just going to fill this letter. I'm going to pick a blue that's just a little bit darker and fill the next two letters. Then I'm going to go on the darkest shade of that blue and fill that one. And I'm going to do the same over here, but I'm going to use the pink tone here this time. So we'll go for a middle shaded pink for these letters, and then over here a darker colour. We're going to leave those purple, and then finally pick dark blue for the last two letters. Okay. So now we've coloured in the title, we've got quite a nice effect there, and that looks pretty good. Right, okay. Now there's another thing that you can do if you wanted to get a slightly different effect. If you click on Image and Colorize, you can move this slider bar up and down here and it'll change the colour of your title you've been making. So if you fancy doing something a little bit different, there's that option there as well. Depends how you want your game to look. But we've finished making the title now, so let's go on OK, OK, OK. Now if we want it to appear inside our room, we've got to put it inside an object. So let's make a new object. Obj underscore, oops, that's capital letters, lowercase for these, title, obj title, and let's give it that sprite title as well. There we go. Okay. And now we're just going to open our room up and put our title inside. So make sure you've got Objects tab selected and you've picked up the obj titles in that box, and then just click in your room somewhere. You need to try and get it in the middle, so if you haven't got, I need to move that down a little bit. Try and put your title kind of in the middle. There we go. Now I want to add a few more decorations to my room just to make it look a bit nicer. So go up here and press right click on the wall sprite, duplicate, and we're going to change this wall sprite and make it look different. So go on edit sprite, edit the image, and then just make it a bit bigger, and we're just going to change the colour on here. Grey's pretty boring, isn't it, for a title screen? So let's just choose some purples. If you pick the dark purple, go on to fill an area, and then we're just going to click on the dark bit and pick on that pale pink. I'm going to fill the pale bit of this bit, and then we're going to pick a mid-tone purple colour and just fill in the sides. And there we go. We've just recoloured that sprite and we've turned it purple, and we're going to be able to use it in some of the maze rooms a bit later. So let's call it SPR Purple Wall. Okay, so that's ready for us to use. We're just going to turn it into an object now so we can use it in our game. So let's call this one obj underscore purple wall, and we'll give it the right sprite. And then we're just going to put a few more bits in so we can use it as a wall in our game as well. So make it solid and make its parent obj wall. That's the grey wall which we had earlier. Okay, and there it is. So let's open up our front room, and I'm just going to put a couple of these in the corner just to decorate it. So make sure you've got the walls selected, and let's just put a few of these in your room. Again, you don't have to make it purple, you can make it whatever colour you like. This is just to make our front room look attractive to the eye. So there we go. Now, although our game is called Bear in the Maze, I think we need to put some other bits and pieces in there. I mean, our game's all about our bear, isn't it? So it'd be quite nice to actually put a bear inside our room. But we can't put that bear inside the room because remember, he's got key press instructions. And if we put him in there, the player can move him around and might get into trouble. So we're going to make a different kind of bear. Make a new object and call it obj still bear. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it the bear sprite, but we're not going to give it any events or actions. And that way the player won't be able to move it around in the title screen. So make sure you've got the right kind of bear, obj still bear, and not the other one. And just click in a square in your room and put the bear inside. Okay. Now what we want to do is to start the game up, we want the player to just press a key to move into the front room. But unfortunately the player doesn't know this, so we need to give them some instructions. So we're going to make a new object to tell them about this. Create a new sprite. Click on Edit Sprite, Create New Sprite. We're going to make a width of 288 and a height of 90. Okay, and click on Edit Your Image. Okay, we're going to do the same thing we did last time. Click on Draw Text. See, the things we put in last time are still there, but we need to just adjust the size. This one's a bit smaller, so I'm going to set it to 20. Just see how big that's going to be. Click on dark purple, click in the space, and then I'm going to write in some instructions. Press any key. So the player knows to just press a key when the game starts. So let's try and get that in the middle. Looks a bit small, so we're just going to make the text a little bit bigger. Looks like I can still make it a little bit bigger yet. There we go, let's get that in the middle. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so just click in a space to anchor it and press cancel. Okay, now I'm going to make it a bit bigger and colour it the same way as I coloured the title. So use that bucket fill, and then we're just going to use the different shades of blue first of all. So start off light, then we use a mid-tone, then we use a dark tone, and then I'm going to do the same with the pinky purple colours as we go along the title. So use a mid-tone, and we'll leave those purple and just do the last two letters in dark blue. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. Let's make that smaller so I can see it. That's not too bad at all. Okay, okay, and we're going to call this one SPR _ info for information. Okay, so let's make an obj info so we can put it in our room. So let's change the title on there, obj _ info, and let's just give it this SPR info sprite. Okay, and let's just put it in our room. Okay, so let's select, make sure you've got obj info selected. I'll try and get it central. I don't think it's going to go completely central, but that's not too bad. That's more or less kind of central. It's not perfect, but it'll do for us. Now, the only thing we haven't got in here at the moment is any mechanism that will actually move us from one room to another. So we're going to do that now. Let's make a new object, and we're going to call it obj start controller. Okay. Right, going to add event, we're going to use a key press, any key. So if you press any key and then go on to main room 1, next room. So if you press any key, you can go to a next room. We're going to use our fancy transition, create from center. Okay. And now all we need to do is just put that object into your room. So let's just pull that down so you can see it. Make sure that you've got obj start controller selected and just click in a corner of your room so you've got one of those in there. And now we're going to go and test our game and see if it's working. Okay, so there's our lovely title screen. If I press any key, it'll move me into the first room. Yep. So there we go, and you've got a front room made now. Next time on Amazing Mazes, we create some challenge for our game by making a ghost. See you there.